what you will want, is possibly a couple blocks, possibly a chair, but possibly not. And again, we are going to be working with a lot with some forms of breath work and hopefully tapping into our organs this morning. We're going to move a lot from our lungs. So, all right, if somebody can give me, if you can still hear me, I should be on my microphone now. Can anyone give me a thumbs up if you can still hear me clearly? Get back up here. Thank you very much. All right, super duper. Okay, so we are going to be starting off in our comfortable seat. So if you haven't already, please start to find that. I'm going to put get my microphone on here, get that set. All right, if I can. Come on, I might. Can you hold this out a little bit? Thank you. Thanks. There we go. Up. Oh. Technical issues here.
It's not technical. That's just.
It is technical for me. All right. Okay, and I'm just going to move this camera just slightly. There we go. So a little bit more centered. All right. Finding your comfortable seat. And taking just a moment or two to feel your body get nice and centered and grounded. Turn my phone to stun. All right. And again, for some of you who have been in a couple of classes with me, you may have before where we've talked about this connection between the heart and mind. A lot of times when we come into the Western interpretation of life is we kind of separate things in our body. We kind of assume that we're like a machine and there's all these different parts. And in a lot of the Eastern view where yoga comes from, there's much more of a philosophy of it's all united. And I tend to subscribe to that. I found that to be very true in my life. And so this practice today is really going to be hopefully getting us to feel that way, to feel really the unification of all of this. So I want you to think about kind of this connection between our thoughts and our emotions. You know, we a lot of times tend to say our emotions reside in the heart and our thoughts reside in the head. So in the philosophy I'm going to suggest we operate from today, it's kind of the uniting of that. And so we're going to call this heart mind, but it's also kind of going to be, we're going to be talking about how all of our body has this wisdom, especially our organs. So with that in mind, with that thought in mind, go ahead and get yourself with a nice tall spine, comfortable seated position, and begin to softly close your eyes or take your soft gaze. Take a few breaths. Just notice, how does your body feel this morning? What are you experiencing in terms of your physical sensations of your body? If there's any part of you that is feeling anything that is of a slight, pay attention to me, do pay attention to that. Remembering that during this class, what you feel and experience needs to be your guide. And so if there's anything that does not feel right or comfortable to you, please make sure that you're taking care of yourself. And hopefully we're going to, by the end of the class, maybe even feel different. Pay attention to how your breath feels right now within you. We're going to taking a baseline of these things so you have a point of comparison for the end of the class. Feel how your breath moves within you, where it moves within you. And now, just for a moment, see if you can tap into that heart mind. Take your awareness and allow it especially if it feels like a lot of thoughts are going on and you've been up in your head. Bring that awareness now down and drop it down around the base of the sternum or the bone in the center of your chest. And whether or not you can sense exactly where your heart is, that's okay. Just imagine it back there. Riding up and down on your diaphragm muscle as your breath comes in and goes out. And perhaps notice how dropping your awareness down into that place might have actually brought you into a feeling of more stillness, perhaps even more awareness. Perhaps even more centeredness. So from this place now, think about what is your intention for your practice this morning. To whom or what would you like to dedicate your practice to? And having planted those seeds within that heart mind, then bringing your palms together, right connected with that heart mind. We'll chant Om to open the practice again in the Uchara manner, vibrating the Ah low, the U in that heart mind, and the nasal passage up here for the On, allowing the silence to arise through the crown of the head at the end. Exhaling together and inhaling. May we practice together in stillness, in joy, in harmony. Namaste. And as you're ready to release your palms, if you're sitting cross-legged, go ahead and lean back and switch the cross of your legs. If you're sitting in a position that feels comfortable and you really want to stay there, go ahead and stay there. So if you don't know physiology, what I want you to imagine is the two lungs that we have, and that kind of right in the center, almost enveloped and surrounded lovingly by our lungs, is our heart. So our heart sitting here and our lungs here. The left lobe of our lung being a little smaller because the heart is a little bit over, it's not actually quite centered. The right lobe being a little bit longer. But we have three lobes, although there's some people say that because of that heart on the left side, we don't have much of a center lobe, so they only say there's two. But a lot of people consider it three. So we're just going to imagine there's three lobes on each side. And what we're going to have you guys do is in just a moment, I'm going to have you lie down on your back, and we're going to start to feel our breath moving within our lungs. But first, what we're going to do is we're actually going to take our hands to become more aware of our lungs. So I just kind of want to show you from this side what I'm going to ask you to do on your back in a moment. So I'm going to ask you to take one of your arms, and it can be the one on the same side or it can be the opposite arm. And I'm going to ask you to place it up here, and then we're going to try to breathe up there. And I want you to try to kind of feel and get connected with the upper lobe that's up here. Then for the middle lobe, what you're going to do is want to take your hand probably along the side of your chest. And again, you could use the same side, or if it's more comfortable for you, you could reach over with your other arm. And I want you to just get really intimately connected here and feel even into the chest You're by yourself at home. You're going to be lying down. Nobody's watching. And really get aware of the feeling of your breath moving in this middle lobe of the lung. And then for the lower lobe, because the lower lobes, we really feel and experience them, they come down more in the back body than in the front body, because here we start to have our organs of our abdominal cavity, is you're going to want to bring your hand around to your back, even while you're laying down, just kind of scooch it under your back and really feel the lower lobe. Okay, so those are the three things I'm talking about. Those are the three areas. Go ahead and lie back down on your back. I know, Debbie's all excited. Any class that starts off lying down, she loves. All right, so get yourself lying down on your back. And as you get yourself lying down, just do any little squirmy movie stuff that you may want to get yourself ready. And then go ahead, and we're going to start on the right side so that we assure the three lungs. Taking one of your hands and putting it on the top of your shoulder. Try to get your fingers towards the back, maybe even riding on top of your scapula. And just start to take some breaths into there and see if you can start to feel a little movement. And even if you can't feel a whole lot of movement, with your hand there, take your mind there. Take your mind into that upper lobe of the right lung and say good morning. Send some love and awareness to this beautiful part of our anatomy that does this vital work for us, and we want it to be awake and fluid and to help us to breathe really well. We need to breathe well this day and every day. Connecting with that right lobe. And again, even if you're not sure if you're sensing a lot of sensation there, just allow your hand to bring yourself into a connection. We're using the mind, but we're using that sense, that somatic awareness to bring awareness there. And then we're going to move now into that middle lobe. So you're going to take your hand over onto the side of your body, kind of around where your chest is. For us ladies, where our breasts are. For guys, well, you have a breast too. And just you can come around to the front as well, but bringing over to the side, you may now experience some movement perhaps of how the rib cage moves out to the side a little bit in coordination with this middle lobe now of your right lung being filled and then exhaling. These lobes are beautiful in their design and the way that they smooth and they move over each other, and just taking your mind and your awareness there. And again, even if you're not finding a lot of sensation, allow yourself to feel through your hands that this is where that middle lobe of the right lung is. Send it some love, appreciation, gratitude for what it does for you. You guys feeling it?
Oh, yeah.
Good. All right, now we're going to come down to the lower lobe. So this is where you're going to need to put your hand a little bit underneath your back and just bring it down. If you feel where the low ribs are, where they end, down a little bit below there. And just even if your fingertips are down there. And again, if you can, try to feel your breath expanding your low back here on the right side, breathing in and breathing out. And again, even if you're not quite sure you're feeling sensation down there, using the input of your hands onto your body to be aware that this is where your lower lobe is and that it is working for you, sending it love and appreciation for the breath coming in and the breath going out. Thank you, my lower lobe of my right lung. And again, just notice, maybe you didn't start off feeling anything. Maybe you're feeling something as time goes on. How are you guys doing over here? Are you noticing anything? All right. Peter, how about you? All right, good. So once you've done that, what I'm going to have you do is go ahead and move your hand, and you're going to come over onto either side and gently come back up into sitting just for a moment. I just want you to sit up for a moment before we explore the other side. So we have now kind of brought our awareness and activation to this right side. So I want you sitting in a way where you can move. And all I want you to do is right now, I want you to take, and you're going to breathe in and just allow your right arm, let your lungs and those lobes fill. Picture them filling with air, and imagine, if you will, that that air is helping your arm to come up, and see how it feels. So just right arm, inhaling feeling that arising, and the exhale coming back and down. Notice that. Do that one more time. Inhaling that arm up. Allowing the lungs to direct the movement of your arm. Notice how that feels. Let your exhale bring it back and down. Now, just as a point of comparison, we haven't done this on the left. Do this on the left side. Bring your arm up and notice if it feels different. Do you notice the difference in the way it's moving and how it feels? What's the difference that you guys are feeling?
It's this one kind of floated up. Yeah.
All right. I hope you guys at home are noticing the same thing. On my left side, what I would say is I'm feeling like the bones and the muscles are moving it. It's not yet connected deeper in with organs. So your left side's jealous. Let's lay down and do the same thing. Lie down. All right. So on the left side, we're going to do this in the same order. We're going to start up with the upper lobe. So taking whichever hand, same side hand or the opposite hand, and getting it up on top of the shoulder and finding that feeling of connecting through your hand or even just your fingers with this upper lobe on the left side now. Taking your awareness there. So you may be feeling the sensation of breath. Some of you may not feel that yet, and that's okay. Just allow yourself to be aware. We have this upper lobe, just like we do on the right, and it receives our breath. Send it some gratitude, some love and awareness. This sensation of our hand, bringing our somatic awareness to this part of our body so that we can bring in that same feeling of lightness to movement on this side as well that you just experienced on your right side. How are you guys doing? Are you feeling anything on this? A little bit, not sure.
And it took a minute to get through time.
Yeah. For me, the upper lobes can feel they're one of the tougher ones for me to experience. So just know at least you've brought your sensation awareness. There's somatic awareness. Now we're going to come into the middle. Again, there's controversy some people don't consider. I consider there to be a middle lobe on this side. It may be tinier. But bringing your hand over around the chest area on the side of your body. Feeling for the rib cage perhaps moving out a little bit and back in with your breath. Again, coming over, letting your hand explore your chest, your breast, maybe feeling the expansion a little bit in the front, but then bring it back over onto the side. That's usually where we feel the most of it, in the middle lobe of the lung. Again, acknowledging the beauty of this organ, what it does for us, the importance of its function, sending it some love and awareness, somatic awareness with your hand. Are you guys feeling movement over here on this? All right? Good. Okay. And then again, we're going to move down to the lower lobe. So this is where you may need to put your hand a little bit underneath your body. Getting it down kind of where the lower ribs come down and just a little bit lower. You may need to kind of lift your body up, squish your hand a little bit under there. And then start to breathe into this area. Again, bringing your hand and that somatic awareness to your breath coming in and going out and directing that love and affection down to the lower lobe of your left lung now. Connecting with that, both with the sensation of your hand, directing awareness from your mind there. So we create the circuit of awareness. How's it going? You feeling this side?
Working it.
All right. Peter, how about you? Okay. And whether again or not, you're feeling a lot of breath or movement down there, just know it's there, know it's happening. Go ahead and move your arm out of the way. And once again, we're going to come up and just into a sitting position for a moment here. All right. So let's check out this left arm. Once you get up into your sitting position, and just again, allow yourself to imagine the breath going into the left lobes of the lungs are going to help lift this arm up. And try and inhale and see if your left arm has that same kind of floaty sensation, perhaps, that your right arm did. Check it out one more time. Just make sure it wasn't just a fluke. Inhaling up and exhaling back and down. All right. So now we have both sides aware. Let's do that with both sides. 3 breaths. Inhaling up. Using your exhale to come down and doing this at the pace of your breath. And feeling that filling your lungs, bringing that breath in, is the driver of this movement. One more time. Inhale up. And exhale back and down. Cool. All right. So this is a lot of the work that we're going to do today, is trying to allow our lungs to kind of be the center of our practice today, but also this heart that lives in the center of the lungs. I'm going to switch my sitting position because I've been sitting up while you guys were laying on your back. And so we're going to do a couple more things sitting here. And now that we have our lungs and awareness there, what we're going to do is we're going to just kind of try to move from the lungs to massage the heart a little bit. Because when we breathe in, every time we take a breath in and out, we are giving a little massage to our heart, which is awfully nice for what our heart does too. So I want you to think about that and think about the lungs kind of moving, but it's not just lungs. So now taking your right hand down kind of right on the lower ribs and just allowing it to extend down a little bit below your rib cage. If I had you guys sound on, I could give you the quiz of what organ you're connecting with down here. Do either one of you guys know? Which organ? Liver. All right, one of our biggest things. And, you know, I don't know if y'all are having COVID-19 cocktails these days, but liver needs some love and affection too. So feeling your hand connecting here and just knowing that this big organ comes kind of up and under our ribs, and it's a nice big organ here and it does an awful lot of work too. So with your hand here, be aware here, this is liver. Now coming over here on the left side, and it's an interesting shape organ I can't quite describe it that well, but your stomach kind of comes in here. It's a weird shape. But just put your left hand kind of in center, but going a little bit over to the left. Stomach, right? Our area of digestion. So liver has a lot to do with our cleansing of things in our body. Stomach is where we're going to digest stuff. And boy, do we have a lot to digest in this day and time. So sending with your left hand now this love and affection to your stomach. Breathing into that and breathing out of that. All right. So there's a number of more, but these are the main ones we're kind of going to have some awareness. So now I want you to do is just breathing in and breathing out. All I want you to do is take a couple times and just take your right arm. And this time we're going to take your right arm out to the side with your inhale. And you can take your left hand down the ground. And on the exhale, reach across, just coming into a light twist and come back. Now this time we're going to breathe in. I want you to imagine your liver is going to move you this time. Inhale out to the side from your liver. And on the exhale, allow your liver to guide you, moving over here. And bring it back open. It's a little difference in movement to me. It feels different. Let's take that hand down. We're going to now move and allow the stomach to guide us in a movement going from the left to the right. So inhale and open. Breathing into stomach. Left lobes, crossing across, letting stomach guide the movement, letting organs guide the movement, and inhale back open. Let's do that one more time. And exhale across. And open back again. And bring it down. Now we're going to do the same thing. We're going to do a lateral stretch. So connecting here, the organs on this right side will be opening, but the organs on the left side getting a little condensing. So this time inhaling, lifting up that right arm, letting the right lobes of the lung help the movement. On an exhale, just gently allowing the stomach, the left lobes to get condensed, but opening up through the right lobes, opening up through the liver. Breathing into them. One more breath. And inhaling, coming back and down. Good. We're going to lift up the left arm. Let the lobes of the lung create that lift. Now here we're going to start to exhale over, allow liver and the right lobes of the lung to get a little condensed, but opening up now for the left lobes of the lung and stomach area. Maybe even spleen a little bit if I remember right. Breathing into this. Good. Inhale as you're ready to come back up and exhale back and down. Just soften or close your eyes for a minute and just feel your breath. Just notice if even right now from the beginning of class, does your breath feel a little bit different? Does your body feel a little bit different from bringing this somatic awareness into the center, the organs? Good. Now we're just going to come and we're going to do a little forward and back, like we're doing a seated cat-cow. What I want you to be aware of, now take your hands for a moment, if it's comfortable, and just bring them kind of to the back body, just a little bit, kind of where those low ribs are. And again, here's kidney area, right? Not only do we have our low lobes of our lungs starting around in here, we have kidney area in here too. So just take a moment and connect with those beautiful kidneys. Thank you for your work of clearing out stuff in my body. I love you, kidneys. All right, moving those hands away from there. So what I want you to think about, when we do back bends, we don't want to squish stuff, right? We don't want to squish the kidneys. We don't want to squish the lobes of the lungs. When we come forward, we don't want to do that first. So I want you to think about, we want to always kind of extend, and instead of pushing our spine forward in order to go back, I want you to just think about starting from here and elevating through the heart, elevating through the upper lobes of the lungs. So whenever you're ready, using your hands, just start to move yourself into a light back bend, grounding down, extending up, feeling that you're going to expand all these organs on the front, but your kidneys are helping to support it. They're not getting squished. They actually might be kind of puffing themselves up a little bit to support this too. Can you breathe into the lobes of your lungs and the heart and feel their elevation? Taking one more breath here. If it's uncomfortable, take your head back. Keep your chin lightly tucked. Look forward. And then come forward. Back bends. Now we're going to think about forward bends. So a lot of times people kind of lean back and then sink in like this. And I want you to consider, we don't want to again push the heart too far back like this. We want to create length and space first, and then just gently start folding forward. It's going to get a little bit of condensation, but we want to create space for it. And then breathe into this. Feel the puffing again of the kidneys, the back lungs expanding maybe a little bit more. But feel your heart still having room to be massaged a little bit by the right and the left lobes of your lungs. And then come on up. So when we're paying attention to and kind of moving from this centered, embodied, organic self, we may move a little differently, and that's okay. Might feel a little bit more flowy. It might feel a little bit less wanting to squish into things, but you may find you want to go deeper. Keep in touch with these organs. Let's go ahead and set the legs out in front. Reach them out, because we're not going to forget about our legs and our arms yet today. Wiggle, wiggle. Just move your toes, move your feet, roll those ankles in one direction and then in the other direction. Good. Go ahead and move your knees up and down a little bit. All right. Now just for a moment, sitting here with your legs extended out, and you can always use your hands at your sides to help support your back. All I want you to do is just try to breathe into your lungs and see if you can send that breath down all the way into your legs, into your toes, and then allow yourself to receive the breath coming back and out. Let it back out. See if you can send the energy from your heart, your liver, your kidneys, your stomach, all those organs down and into your legs, releasing it back out. Imagine the lymphatic system that connects down with our legs, breathing in through that and exhaling, helping that to release back and out. So even though those organs may not extend all the way down there, They have functions that connect with them as well. All right, we're going to come up to standing, but just for a moment, bend your knees, take your legs over to one side, the other side. And what we haven't talked a whole lot about yet is the organs that are down in our pelvic bowl. Different ones for male and female. I'm not going to go into anatomy lesson on that. In teacher training we do. But just take a moment to take your awareness, even as you're doing this movement side to side, and connect with your genital organs. Connect with what is within your pelvic bowl, taking your awareness down there. And pause for a moment. If you need to, put your hand here on the front of the pelvis, just connect with that. You guys at home, if you want to put your hand on your pelvic floor, and just breathe into that for a moment. Again, somatically connecting here. And then taking your hand back here, as you move once again your legs side to side, imagine that you're moving from those organs. And just feel the difference. Allow the organs of your pelvis to create the movement in your hips, your sacrum, your lower back, legs. All right, good. So we're going to come to standing now. We are going to just do a few movements up here while we're standing, now that we're on our legs. And again, I want you to try to stay connected with the organs of your body. You know, here from your pelvic floor, coming up into the tops of your shoulders, both in the front and in the back body. If all of that seems too much to try to figure out where you're connecting with, what I want you to do is come back mainly to lungs and to heart, right? Think of our heart as kind of our metaphysical center, but it's really kind of here in the center of the body of connecting our upper and lower parts of our body. All right, so the first thing we're going to do is I just want you to just take and to create some side-to-side motion. Again, breathing into the lungs, maybe breathing into the organs in the center part of the body. And just see if those organs can create your movement. Maybe explore a little bit different movement, side to side with the arms. And for those of you guys that have done some of this somatic work before, you may actually be connecting specifically with the different lobes of the lungs, with the different organs. And again, if that seems crazy talk, just come back into lungs in general and heart in general. Coming back into center. Let's find mountain pose, but let's find it from an organic basis. So can you breathe into the lungs and use the energy of your lungs to come down and connect down into your feet and feel yourself rooting down, maybe even feeling the breath of the earth and connecting with her. Lifting that up. Maybe your inhale lifts up through your feet to fill the lungs and feeling that connection. So finding your arms at your side for a moment. Breathing into the feet. Imagine that. So now using the lightness that we felt before, we're just going to inhale the arms again up and down. Use your inhale. You don't have to move at the same time I do. Inhaling up, exhaling back and down. But imagining perhaps that that breath is coming from your feet, from the earth itself, receiving her breath, letting it fill you, coming back and down. All right, good. Now on this inhale, we're going to keep the arms just slightly up. They could be out to the side, wherever they're really comfortable. And all I want you to do is I want you to explore just a gentle twist, but keeping your feet rooted. Inhaling from the center. Exhaling, can you move this twist from the lungs, perhaps from the other organs? Inhale back to center. When you're ready with your breath, exhaling to the other side, moving from the lungs. Inhale back to center. You can do whatever you want with your arms. Do this one more time. Let yourself connect with your body. What feels right? If your lungs could get you to move differently, let them move you differently. Inhaling back to center. Allowing your twist to go the other side. Inhaling back to center. Releasing your arms. Maybe letting your lungs roll your shoulders. Good. So we're going to do gently going back and forth. I'm going to move to the side here. So again, just nice and easily, as you go back, I like to go back with an inhale because it feels like my lungs really support me in a back bend with an inhale. Again, you can do whatever you want with your arms. They could go out to the side. They might go up. You might want to keep them down. But just feel like you're not collapsing into the back, nor are you moving forward to go back. You're not kind of pressing your heart forward. You're creating space for all the organs and then supporting your body and going back with that inhale. And exhale. We might come forward a little bit into a little bit of forward bend. Move back and forth, just gentle and easy standing, moving back and forth into back bending and light forward bending. Supporting the heart and the lungs in every one of these movements, maybe 3 or 4 times, moving at the pace of your breath. And it should feel this quality of caressing yourself from the inside out versus a stress for your body. So making that move happen for you. Nice. All right, we're going to come back to center now. And we're going to do the same thing with a standing lateral movement. So just like we were doing before sitting, but I want you to think again about supporting the movement, moving from this centering part of the body, centering in the organs. So I'm going to lift my right arm up first. And then paying attention to the lungs, letting my lungs, my heart direct the movement, coming over to the side, then inhaling back up. And I'm switching sides. Allow yourself to kind of flow back and forth to these side movements, trying to stay with your awareness, being connected with the organs of your body, how this movement might differ for you, so that it feels a caress from the inside of your body. All right, hopefully that's feeling good. How are you guys feeling? All right. So now we're going to take this feeling of hopefully some fluidity in the body, and we're going to move this into a sun salutation. So I want you to, more than anything else, continue to find the fluidity in your sun salutation. In this first one, we're going to take and we're going to have the knee going down and onto the ground. I'm going to use a blanket for my knee. And I'm going to come and step in the front of my blanket. All right. So once you have, if you might want to have your blocks for kind of going down and up, have your blocks handy, then find your mountain pose at the front of your mat. Again, root your feet down to connect with the breath of the earth. Just pausing for a moment, either with your eyes soft or closed, to really sink down into that connection, to feel your lungs, your breath connecting with the earth, and earth's breath coming and supporting into your lungs. Bringing your palms together in front of that beautiful heart mind. Bowing down to remember for a moment your intention, your dedication, keeping connected with that as much as you're connecting with your body. As you're ready, softening and opening the eyes and using your breath in your lungs to allow your arms to float up with your inhale. And we're going to fold forward nice and easy. Allow it to come from your organs into your exhale. Just take a couple breaths here with your hands on your legs, on your block, on your chair, on the ground. And just feel your lungs filling and emptying so that we're not squishing anything in the front body, and the back body is getting this nice expansion. Moving with breath. And on your next inhale, coming up into a flat spine position, really extending out through the crown of the head. And then on the exhale, bending both knees and taking that right knee down to the ground. And here's where we're going to just practice moving and letting our breath fill us. So we're going to move up into this Anjaneyasana, or kneeling lung position. But do this 3 times and allow your lungs to make the motion happen. Filling with your breath, we just naturally arise. We kind of even float up. Exhaling, we float back down. Maybe you can connect this time with the organs in the center part of your body, stomach, liver, intestines, all of that good stuff, and exhale back and down. And if you can, maybe on this 3rd breath now, connect with the organs in your pelvic bowl and allow them to be filled and create part of this lightness as well. And exhale back and down. Good. All right. We're just going to keep the right hand down, either onto the ground or onto one of your bricks. And now we're going to move 3 times into a twist on this side. Can you feel the left lobes of the lungs particularly filling and just allowing this lightness to lift you into this twist, and exhale down. Do that 2 more times using your breath. Inhaling up and exhaling down. Centered in the organs, the left lobes of the lungs, lifting the right one, supporting it, and exhale to come back and down. Good. We're going to move that brick out of the way. I'm going to take this other leg back. And come on down and onto the belly. And all we're going to do is we're going to just do some gentle movements with arms and legs going up and down, lying on the stomach. So on the belly, having your arms out in front of you, your legs extended back, I want you to center yourself in the center of your body. Feel the organs of your pelvic bowl reaching down, your stomach connected down, but light, your lungs filling and emptying with your breath. Now in this natural pattern, what I want you to do is just find your one arm and your opposite leg being lifted by your inhale, and come on down with your exhale. Send that air from your lungs, switching arms and legs each breath. Coming in and going out. One more time each side. Inhaling, opposite arm and leg. The lungs helping that breath, sending them down into the arms and legs to get nice and light. One more time. Filling the back body, lower lobes really helping. Come on down. Good. Just take a moment and put your forehead on your hands. And just for a moment, rest here. And again, check in with your body, how it's feeling here. How did those motions feel? Did they feel a little different than some other times you've done them? All right, go ahead and put your hands underneath your shoulders. Lift yourself up and onto your knees. We're going to go back into child's pose, but just for a moment, don't go back yet. What I want you to watch is we're going to move back and forth. Some of you guys have seen this, the Alleluia move. We're going to do this with breath. So you'll be back in child's pose on your exhale. Your inhale is my lungs are filling, lower, middle, upper lobes. I'm going to come up, maybe even a light back bend. And then my exhale, I'm going to start to fold back into child's pose. So on your breath, maybe doing that somewhere between 3 to 5 times. First, come on back in child's pose. And if going back and forth between these doesn't feel comfortable for your body for whatever reason, just explore child's pose for a moment, feeling your breath in your back body really puffing up through the kidneys, filling those lower lobes, middle lobes, upper lobes, staying connected with that. And anytime you're ready now, beginning to move on your inhale up, let your lobes, let your lungs direct the movement, fill your arms, and exhaling, coming back and down, rooting, connecting with earth, inhaling up, and exhaling back and down. Your breath. Maybe one more time of this. Explore, find your breath and your organs bringing you into the movement, filling you, lightness. Exhaling, coming back and down. Resting for a moment in your child's pose, just again explore what effects this has. Did that movement feel different moving from your organs? Once you've done that exploration, just using your hands under your shoulders to help you lift up. And we're going to step that right leg forward. We're going to come back and into this lunge. So right here, we're going to again move with breath, inhaling, filling with the lobes of the lungs, and exhaling, coming back and down and forward. Nothing being squished, all of the organs feeling fully alive and present and connected with you. And exhaling. One more. Moving at the pace of your breath, 3 times in total. And exhale as you come down. Again, we're going to keep that left arm down, either onto the ground or onto a brick. And we're going to do the twist going towards the left now. Towards the right. So the right lobes of your lungs are going to be what drive and bring the lightness of the arm up and into the air, into this twist, and the exhale to come back and down. Again, moving at the pace of your breath. The inhaling up and the exhaling back and down. Again, 3 times, inhaling up and exhale to come back and down. Good. And either keeping that brick to help you come up, we're going to curl the back toe under and the left leg, lift it up. Now see if you can breathe yourself forward. How light can your leg be? Finding your forward bend again, and here for a moment, allow your head to release down and just get this feeling that your breath is still filling you. Your organs are still amazing in this forward bend. Nothing is being squished. They're all being fulfilled. You may even find that you lift up lightly with your inhale, and your exhale, you sink a little bit. As you're ready, we're going to move into coming up, but allow your body to fill, and maybe your arms come forward. Maybe you come up through chair pose as your lungs fill, rooting, connecting with the earth, being lifted by your breath. And when you're ready, exhaling, bringing the hands back in front of the heart. And just pause here. Explore inside the feelings both within you, within your breath, the connection of this heart-mind. Good, just release your hands for a moment. I hope that you're getting a sense of how differently you can move in working with this manner. This does come from the work of Bonnie Bainbridge Cohen. I have to give her a lot of props. She's an amazing woman, and she does this work called body-mind centering. And so it has a lot to do with being somatically connected with ourselves. We're going to take this now into a second sun salutation. In this salutation, we're going to stay standing. We won't be kneeling. I'm going to move my blanket out of the way. And here's where you may want to have your blocks or a chair. As we go and step back, we're going to come back into our Warrior One, Virabhadrasana 1 position. So we work with that a lot on Monday. So hopefully you remember some of what works for you. We're going to be lifting the arms up. Then we're going to be folding forward, again, using our breath. And then from here, if it feels right for you, the option of coming and trying to float up, allowing your breath and your lungs to just lightly lift up through that back leg. And you can do anything you want with the arms. You can try to let your arms go out to the side as if you're flying. You may want to keep them centered into the heart mind underneath you. Or you may want to use your blocks or your chair to support your hands and just keep filling your body with your breath. Staying for a few breaths at any time. If it feels like that's not right for you to stay, as long as I may be talking you through staying, come back into your Warrior One. And you can either work with this here or simply take your hands onto the hips and pause there. Okay? All right, we're going to start off again in mountain pose. So feeling the feet grounding down, connecting with the earth. Receiving the breath of the earth up into your lungs. Bringing again the hands to that heart mind. Bowing to honor your intention, your dedication, this amazing connection with your body. As you're ready, softly opening the eyes and using an inhale from those beautiful lobes, receive it with your arms and lift up, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, folding with respect from the organs all the way down into our forward bend. Take a couple breaths here. Just again, allow yourself to feel the rhythm of your breath moving within you, the vitality of your body in response. As you're ready, we're going to step that left leg back and start to come into the position for Warrior One, Virabhadrasana 1. So remember how we work with this on Monday if you were here, enough space for the sacrum. Feel that your breath can still reach down into your legs. The front knee's lightly bent. The back leg is extended back. You may feel a little stretchy here, a lot of more work on this side. Let your breath come down and support both of your legs. Let your lower organs from your pelvis reach down into there. Let your abdomen and your lungs now support you. We're going to inhale the arms up. Feeling perhaps what is the right expression of this that supports your whole body, your front body possibly opening, but the back body supported as well. We're not thrusting the pelvis forward in order to arch back. It's an organic coming from the heart, but the heart is not being pressed into this. There's no stress. We're going to inhale and start to straighten out through this right leg, and we're going to fold forward, exhale, lengthening, allowing, breathing, finding perhaps either your hands onto your leg, your chair, or your blocks, only going as deep as is comfortable. Now from here, we're going to move into whatever expression of Warrior 3 for the standing balance works. So you can start to bend the front knee a little bit. Take a nice big inhale and fill that back leg and allow the lightness of your breath to fill that left leg as maybe it extends back behind you. Inhale, filling your lungs again and finding perhaps you want to become an airplane. Allow your breath to fill out into your arms, out through the crown of your head, or possibly just holding your hands in prayer underneath your heart mind. Finding what's right for you. Maybe 1, 2, or 3 more breaths. Feel the lightness. Let your breath support you. Whenever you need to, coming back, reaching that back leg down, and finding once again, Warrior 1 with an inhale, lifting up through the arms. Good job, everyone. Now again, find this feeling of the lungs connecting with the earth, but also the lightness of the breath coming up and into the arms, into the heart. One more. And on an exhale, step it forward and joining the hands together into the heart. Cool. That was some fun, wasn't it? Let's do the other side. Bowing down once again. Your intention, your dedication. Inhaling the breath, the lungs filling the arms. The exhale, folding forward, but all of the organs harmonious, moving from there. Finding your hands onto your chair, your bricks, the floor, your legs. Allowing yourself just a couple breaths to feel the movement of the breath within you. And then on an inhale, extending through the spine by filling the lungs. On the exhale, moving from the pelvis, stepping the right leg back. And again, we're going to start to come up, finding the expression of your Virabhadrasana 1, your Warrior 1. Making perhaps space in the pelvis. Feeling the rooted down, the connecting, and still receiving the breath of the earth. Whenever this is feeling right, inhaling then and bringing the arms back and up. Breathing. Allowing the lungs to fill your body, feeling the lightness of the heart, not oppressing. There's no condensing. There's no squishing. One more breath. And then starting to lightly lift and straightening perhaps or close to it, the front leg. Exhale, starting to fold forward. Finding ease and extension, your organs happy with this, perhaps down to your chair, perhaps down to your leg, perhaps to your bricks, maybe even the floor for some of you. Again, breathing into the back body, finding your lungs fully extending, supporting down through your legs, connecting with the earth still. We're going to start to move into the balance of Warrior 3. So bending a little bit onto that left leg, maybe bringing the bricks forward. Use an inhale to fill your right leg as it lifts up and extends. Perhaps filling out through the arms and bringing them either out to the sides or out in front of you. So you may be more comfortable keeping them grounded or coming into the heart. Find your breath supporting you, coming back out whenever you need to, if you can, staying for maybe 2, 3 more breaths, continuing to connect with the earth's breath through that left leg, When you're ready, coming back to landing, finding your warrior one once again, and allow your lungs to lift you into the lightness of this, connecting you with the earth, finding the celebration through the heart of connection, centering. Good. As you're ready then, stepping forward, bringing the hands back in front of the heart mind. Softening or closing your eyes, and just again explore the sensation of moving into these traditional poses, but from the aspect of organs. How connected do you feel right now with your body mind, with your heart mind? Release and then gently the arms. Good. How are you guys feeling?
Good. Sweet.
All right. So we're just going to do a really gentle, I wouldn't get rid of the chair yet. If you're using the chair, I'm going to have Debbie demonstrate using the chair. We're just going to come into a camel pose. But again, in camel pose, we're going to be on our knees and it's a back bend. But I want you to be aware of how much support you're giving this. And instead of kind of thrusting the pelvis forward in order to go back, kind of staying centered in the organs here and allowing this lift and extension back to create the back bend. So I'm going to show you from this side using my blocks. I'm going to have my blocks here. Peter, can you just angle that down just a little bit more? We could go back here a little bit so you can see a little bit more of my feet. Not too much. Perfect. I'm going to have the blocks here because I don't think I'm going to want to go all the way down to my heels. It's going to feel, I think, a little too crunchy. So I'm going to pay really strong attention here. You can even just keep your hands on your hips, grounding down through the ground, inhale and finding that length. And then I'm feeling and I'm staying connected with my heart. How does my heart feel about this? Does it still feel okay? Is it getting squished from the back? No, maybe I can go a little deeper. Inhale. Breathing, extending. Maybe I want to go down to the bricks. Maybe I just want to stay right here. Okay? So we're just going to do a gentle back bend. Some of you guys are feeling comfortable enough, you may want to come all the way down either to your heels with your toes down or even with the top of the feet down. Some of you may feel really comfortable doing that. There's no squishing. Let it be working for you. If you want, you could always have a chair behind you and do the same thing that I just did with the bricks, but use the chair seat or the legs of the chair to even come down just like that. Okay? So get yourself set up. You're going to be on your knees. If you want to have some more cushioning underneath there, have some cushioning underneath there. Some of you are going to feel more comfortable with the knees underneath the pelvis. Again, leaves a little room. Talk to the organs of your pelvis and in your low back area and just see, can your breath still connect with that? If you have your legs together, does that feel as comfortable? Ask your organs. They're going to tell you. All right, now we're going to just work with first with the hands on just the top of your pelvis. And what I want you to notice is the tendency, if you have it, to really thrust the pelvis forward. Just try to keep your pelvis centered and keep connected with those organs. Then bring your awareness into your lower lobes. They're really going to support you in this. So take a nice full inhale, fill those lower lobes, stay connected there, and just gently start to arc back. But find this, that your heart is comfortable, your lower lobes of your lungs are comfortable, your pelvis is comfortable. Just take a breath or two more here. And inhale, coming back up. We're going to do this one more time. Now the second time, if you want to deepen into it, I'm just going to ask you, now you have the awareness of staying connected here, staying connected in your low back, your kidneys, your lower lobes, making sure that you have those connections already wired in. And we're going to do a second time, going back as far as you would like. All right? So starting here again with this point, connecting with the earth's breath through your shins, your feet, your knees. Inhaling, filling all of your lungs, your organs. On the exhale, gently starting to allow yourself to come back to the place that you want to. Possibly down onto a chair, onto the bricks, possibly onto your heels. but this full feeling that your back body is still healthy and happy with this. Your heart is still really happy residing where it's at. And it in fact has this feeling of lightness. You're connected. It's a flow and ease with your breath. No struggles. One more. Whenever it is that you're ready, using that inhale to fill the lungs to come back and up. We're just going to go ahead and sit down, either on the heels, if that's comfortable, or take your hips over to the right side. Whichever version that you've done, whether you're sitting on your heels or just sitting like this for a moment, go ahead and soften or close your eyes once again. And check in with how your body felt with that. Good. Once you've done that check-in, everyone kind of come over onto the right or left hip and swing your legs out in front. Just for a moment, we're going to be here, but if it's helpful to have a blanket to sit on, use a blanket to sit on. If it's a little uncomfortable, to have your legs extended out in our Dandasana or staff pose without that support. I need a blanket. Go ahead and take your hands by your sides. Either if your hands reach down flat or use the bird's beak like I like to do here. And just soften your eyes for a moment. And once again, tap into this beautiful breath. Breathing all the way down into the feet, the legs, the pelvis, the lower lobes, stomach and abdomen, the middle lobes, the upper lobes, all the way through the arms, up through the head. And just sense the energy system within you that has been being fed by this beautiful centered movement you've been doing. Noticing how it feels to have moved and paid attention in this way. Once you've done that observation, we're once again going to come back to the seated twist in this pose. So we're rooted down. Just gently lift the arms with your breath. Feel the lungs lightly lifting them. Exhale, I'm going to twist to the right and maybe stay here for 1, 2, or 3 breaths. Your organs are pleased with this movement. Your heart has still room and expansion. Your lungs are filling the arms. There's no feeling of tension or tightness. When you're ready, then inhale back to center. We're going to do the same thing to the other side. Filling here in the center, still light in the body. Exhaling, allowing the lungs to help create this movement. The organs to be centered. Breathing, maybe 2 or 3 breaths here. Feel the harmony of your body within this. The liver perhaps making this move. Exhaling, back to center. Good, we're just going to do a gentle forward bend. So inhaling here. On the exhale again, allowing your breath, your lungs, your heart to find where this forward bend is that you want to come to. So as we come forward, we don't feel a squishiness in the abdomen. There's no sense of struggle. It's of harmony. And you may find your inhales just kind of almost an undulation of your spine, expanding a little bit, and your exhales, you may deepen into it a little bit. 2 or 3 more breaths. Your back body is feeling this beautiful expansion. Front body is comfortable. Eyes are soft. There's no struggle. Only go as far as you can still find that feeling of spaciousness. And if you want to stay for a few more breaths, please stay for a few more breaths. If you wish to come out, just allow your breath to fill your lungs, to start to bring you back and up. From here, we are going to move down and onto the back. So whenever it is that you've come up and you're ready, go ahead and start to move your stuff out of the way and come onto your back. And we're going to come into a reclining twist. My suggestion for this one is that as you lie back down, to go ahead and bring your knees on into your body. You may want to just kind of hug them in and do a little self-massaging on your back body. thank your breath and your body for everything that it's been doing for you. Thank your organs. Thank your lungs. Thank your heart, your liver, your stomach, your pelvic organs, all the rest of your digestion and elimination organs. Thank you, thank you, thank you. From here, we're going to move into a twist. You can go to either side. Just all I want you to do is just to find a twist that's going to be comfortable to relax into, to stay for probably about a minute or two. So if you want, if you're going to take your legs over to one side, you may find you actually want to shift your hips a little bit over to the opposite side and then take your legs over. I like to leave my legs tucked in. So if I was doing this twist, I would have both legs and it would kind of look like this. And then you could always extend your arms out to the side or maybe up a little bit or even cactus arms on the ground. If your legs don't go all the way over really easily, then find a support, possibly put a block or a blanket underneath your legs or in between your legs. You don't have to turn your head towards the opposite arm. You can keep it looking up the ceiling, but soften or close your eyes now. Find and feel your breath moving your body, feeling your body being filled and emptied. This sense of release of everything now. Feel yourself connecting and melting down, the organs feeling connected and melting down. Everything relaxing and releasing. Allow your organs to tell you where they want you to breathe. Maybe your liver wants that breath. Maybe your stomach wants that breath. Maybe your kidneys want that breath. Feel the organ of your tongue relaxing in your mouth. Maybe it wants that breath. Feel your brain softening and releasing. Allowing that organ to also feel comfortable and relaxed. When this side feels complete, and only then, there's no rush, allow your breath to fill your legs and bring them back up to center. If you want to do the shifting of your hips now toward the other side of your mat, and then allow your legs to gently relax down to the other side, coming into the twist to the other side now. And you know, it's nice to possibly make some sound here. Just see which organ wants you to make ah. Allow that to happen with your exhale. Are there any of your organs that want to sigh? Let that happen now. Again, your breath coming into bathing the lobes of the lungs. Bringing the breath down, maybe into the pelvis, bathing the organs there. Letting your exhales relaxing them. Bathing all the organs of the abdominal cavity. Bathing your eyes, your tongue, your brain. Feeling everybody so juicy, so just wonderfully lubricated from this movement. Now feeling organically whenever this side feels complete. Again, acknowledging that there is no rush. Whenever it does feel complete and you're ready to move out of this, allow your breath to fill your legs, to come back to center. And just finding what else your body may want you to do. Listen to your organs. Before we go into corpse pose or shavasana, is there anything else? Might it be happy baby? Might it be a sense of drawing and hugging your knees in again? Might it be a gentle movement of bridge pose or anything that your body wants you to do? Finding those movements. And then we're going to start to make our way into corpse position. So find the supports that are going to help your body feel super comfy in this one. You may want a blanket roll or cushioning underneath the knees. You may want to have a blanket for underneath your head. Those of you guys up in that cold Northeast, you may want a blanket to cover over with. Know that lying in stillness for the 10 minutes that we will be here, your body will lose some, will cool down. So let yourself find what you need to be comfortable during this time. Now, as you start to settle into this position, what I want you to do is just as much as you've done during the whole rest of this time, is I want you to just do any wiggles to feel that the lobes of your lungs, especially those lower lobes that are touching the ground right now, are really happy and comfy. Move your head a little lightly side to side. Make sure that it is in just the right position, that you have just the right supports for it. Bring your shoulder blades into just the right position so they can support the lungs and the heart, that heart-mind. Allow your sacrum and your pelvis to do any wiggles so that that part of your body is in just the right position. All of you is completely feeling supported, and now you can start to release. As you have your position and you find now exactly the right place for your arms and your legs, just taking that nice full breath into the lungs and exhale. Soften the jaw. Soften and close the eyes. Soften and release the brain. Every organ now getting a chance to rest while it functions perfectly. Being as well in touch with your body as you've been during the rest of the class, what I want you to do is now just sense, is there any particular place in your body that would like to receive your breath, to be able to release any amount more with a nice full exhale? Breathing into those places, perhaps down and into the legs, perhaps out and into the arms, perhaps into the pelvis, perhaps into the stomach and low back, perhaps into the middle lobes of the lungs, the mid-back, perhaps it's the upper lungs, the upper part of your back and shoulders, down through the arms, the neck and throat and the organs there, the head and the face and the organs there. Every part of your body, having received the relaxation of breath, And now, just for a moment, be aware of the place in the center of your head, behind your eyebrow center. Just bringing light awareness slightly there. Bringing your awareness just lightly to the base of your throat, in between the collarbones. Awareness to your right shoulder, not moving it, just awareness. To the right elbow, the right wrist, the tip of the right thumb, tip of the first finger, second finger, third finger, the little finger, back to the right wrist, the right elbow, the right shoulder, coming back to the center of the collarbones, over to the left shoulder, the left elbow, the left wrist, the tip of the left thumb, tip of the first finger, second finger, third finger, little finger, back to the wrist, the left elbow, the left shoulder, back to the center of the base of the throat, in between the collarbones. Bringing awareness now down to the center of the chest, over to the right chest, the left chest, back to the center of the chest, to the navel, just below the navel, over to the right hip, the right knee, the right ankle, the tip of the big toe, second toe, third toe, fourth toe, pinky toe, back to the right ankle, the right knee, the right hip, the place between the navel and the pubic bone, over to the left hip, the left knee, the ankle, the tip of the left big toe, second toe, third toe, fourth toe, and pinky toe. Back to the left ankle, the knee, the left hip, just below the navel, the tailbone, the pelvic floor. Coming back, the pubic bone, halfway between pubic bone and navel, the navel, the center of the chest, the center of the collarbones, the eyebrow center, and back in the center of the brain just behind there. Now allow your awareness to simply rest down in the heart-mind for the next few moments and observe. Om Bhurбhuvah Svaha Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhemahi Dhiyo Yo Na Prachodayat. Om. Just take your time. Allow yourself to feel from the inside again your body, your organs, your breath, the miracle of you. And come back into embodiment in a way that's gentle and easy, possibly through fingers and toes and easy movements. Eventually and gradually curling yourself up, maybe coming onto your side. Take a couple breaths there. When you're ready to start sitting back up, use your arms and come back into a nice and easy seated position. We're only going to be here for a couple minutes. You can always keep your eyes soft or closed as you switch into sitting. And as you get settled into a seated position that's just comfortable, just check in now. Compare it to the beginning of your practice. How does your body feel now? How is your breath now? Do you feel a greater wholeness and connection of yourself? Once again, drop down into that heart-mind. If it's comfortable, turning the palms to face upward and joining the thumbs and first fingers together. Breathing in the appreciation of all of who you are. Breathing in this ability to be grounded, centered, connected at any time with a few simple breaths. And how being fully embodied may help you to stay in a place of centeredness and calmness and all the ups and downs we're all riding these days. May it help us to be the best that we can be, to come forth with centeredness, to help our families, our friends, our communities, our world. As you're ready then, bringing your palms together in front of the heart. Allow yourself to gently bow and honor all you are, all you experience. We'll close with an Om, again, resounding the Ah in the pelvis, the Oo at the heart, the nasal in the center of the brain, and allowing the silence to rise up through the crown of the head into the world. Exhaling together and inhaling. Namaste. Thank you for your practice. Thank you. Thank you. How you guys feeling?
I felt like I did spring cleaning.
Awesome.